Sorry, there's that awkward lull in between getting from one webinar to the next one. So I'm sorry about a little bit of a delay there. But welcome. We're really excited to have you guys in today's training week session going over all things digital forms, which is so exciting. A couple things I just want to make sure that we're all on the same page of, and that you guys know kind of where to ask your questions and things. This webinar is being recorded, so don't worry. If there's stuff that we talk about that you're like, oh, I want to remember this, we're recording this webinar and it will be sent out to you on Monday. So that way you guys have that in your inbox. You can also access it through Training Camp if you ever want to do so later on. If you have questions as we are going through, please ask your questions. We'd love to hear what you guys have to say. We want to make sure that we're answering all of your questions. In the Q&A tab, we'll make sure to answer all of those questions. It does look like some of you are in the chat, but if you toggle up to the Q&A, you can ask that Q&A and then our support reps will be able to help answer the questions. Okay, one other thing that I want to talk about. Oh, thanks, Jen. This is our agenda. So my name is Adria. If you guys have not been on here, welcome. We're excited to have you. I am a product training specialist here at Weave. And then I also have Jen on as well, who's going to be talking with you guys. She's the customer training specialist that is just fabulous. And she knows all things digital forms. She's an expert at digital forms. And it's kind of a joke between the two of us because she's a lot better at it than I am. But today, we're going to show you guys how to create and edit your forms, where you can view the submitted forms, and how to utilize Kiosk Mode, which is a fabulous tool to use in your office. A couple things that I do want to just remind you guys, we have a lot of different training resources available to you. We have Weave Help and we have Weave Training Camp. These are both amazing tools for you to utilize. Weave Help is a great way if you just have a quick question like, hey, what's this? And Jen's referred to it as like our version of Google, which it really is. You can use that search bar to ask your questions. You can use it to search different features, all that kind of stuff. It's really great. And then we also have Weave Training Camp. Weave Training Camp will get you more in-depth information. It'll walk you through step-by-step on different products and features that we have that is just incredible for you guys to use. And Jen has added those links into the chat. So make sure that you're viewing those. You can always view them from the Weave, from like the new Weave experience as well, which is a great tool. We will also we'll do a Q&A at the very end if we have a few minutes to answer some of the questions that have come through. But just know that we will answer your questions as they come through as best as we can. And I'm going to turn the time over to Jen to share all things digital forms.
Awesome. Thank you, Adria. I'm going to go ahead and pull up my screen here with New Weave. So you guys, one of the most exciting things in New Weave, I think, is the forms, because you can essentially access everything with forms in New Weave. So if you guys are used to using your forms in the Legacy app, you probably already know that you always have to open up the forms dashboard, right? You have to go in to open the dashboard. That's where you're going to edit your forms, all of that. Well, we have moved everything into New Weave. So makes it so nice. It's all in one spot. So over here, I have a little icon specifically for forms. So if I come over here to my forms, immediately it's going to show me my submission. So here is my inbox for the forms. And I do have filters here. If I just want to look at my completed forms, my retry sync, maybe if they didn't sync, needs reviews, any of those I can filter through. And in my inbox, I can also filter through just my sent forms. So these are sent forms that have not been submitted back by the patient and archived, right? So if you have removed a form or tried to delete it, it'll still be available there in archive. Right over here, right below submissions is my forms. So these are all the forms that you have. If you've uploaded them to be digitalized, they'll be found here once they are digitalized. Or if you build your own forms, they'll also be found here. You can see that there's two tabs in my forms. So you have your individual forms, and then you also have your packets. Now, if you want to create a new form, you can just come right up here, hit the plus sign, and you have two options. You can choose from scratch if you want to just start from nothing to build your own form, you can, or from our pre-made templates for you guys. So really great place there. Now, if you guys aren't as familiar with forms, when sending out digital forms, you can only send one link at a time. So that one link can either be one individual form or a group of forms put together which we call packets, right? So it is really important once you get your forms back, if you want to send multiple forms out together, that you add it to a packet. Once you do have your forms, you can just hit the plus sign here to create a new package. You're going to select my location. I'm going to create it for this location. And then I can select which forms I want here, right? I think the most common for everyone is new patient forms, right? I want to give that packet a name, new patient paperwork. So I can create a packet for all of my new patient paperwork there. So it's good and ready to go whenever I have new patients. Now, the next thing under forms here is our kiosk mode. Super great here. Kiosk mode is awesome if you guys want alternatives. You can send out forms via text. You can send the links out in auto messages via email, but you can also use kiosk mode. So if you guys have like iPads in your office that you're wanting to utilize for patients to fill out forms when they come in, you would come here to kiosk mode. There's two separate modes here. The patient will self-check in. So this is if you want to give the patient the autonomy, you can say patient will self-check in. Here's a QR code. So you guys can print out this QR code if you want, download it. Some offices will print it out and actually put it on their desktop. So when patients come in, you can say, hey, do you want to scan that with your code or with your phone? The one thing with letting the patient sign in, once this kiosk is launched, it's going to have a list of all of the forms and packets you guys have. So just be aware, you can't really give them the form or packet, they have to choose it. So if they're checking in by themselves, you might want to let them know, hey, you want to scan this code and choose new patient packet, right? Or whatever they're going to fill out so they know exactly what to select. If you want it a little more custom, so you don't have to ask the patients to select which form or packet they're filling out, they just see exactly what they're filling out, you would do staff assisted check-in. Sorry, I know my words, I promise. Staff assisted check-in will allow you to choose which form you want to send out. Once you select your form or packet, you can select for who in the practice. Oh yeah, I forgot. Oh well, we'll use that. It will give you some details. Today they're coming in. If they do have an upcoming appointment, you can send it out for that appointment. Kiosk mode at this time, you guys, is the only way that you can add additional documents. So it's going to be really important to use kiosk mode if you guys want to like attach a treatment plan or something like that for your patients to review. It's how you would do it. You would choose the file here, upload it into it. If you don't want to add additional documents, you can just hit next. Then this is where you get to choose. Do I want to send it out in a text? Do I want to email it? Or do I want to send it to kiosk mode? At this point, if I send it to kiosk mode, you can see it already has the patient selected, Adria Wood, and then it also has which form or packet I want them to fill out. So now that this is a very customized code for that patient, it's for Adria Wood, and she's filling out the child registration. So once this code was scanned, they would immediately be taken, it would say, hello, Adria, and have the child registration form. So it's more personal for that patient. If you are on a tablet, you could just hit the launch kiosk mode, or you could scan this QR code directly with your tablet and it would pull up that same page that you could then just hand over your tablet to Adria, let her know, hey, can you fill this out? So either one of those work for that kiosk mode. Templates, these are going to be all of our pre-made templates. Honestly, a lot of them right now are dental, so just kind of be aware of that. You can come in here and check some. If you want to preview them, you can just select to preview. Remember, even if you see a template but you want to do some editing, you can. Once you add the template, you can say use this template. You will have to agree to terms, just saying, hey, I acknowledge that I'm responsible to ensure or edit any of this. I want to make changes. Then it will be immediately added to your forms, and then from there we can edit. So the last thing here under forms is your builder. So this is where you can come and build your forms. Usually it's best to come in here and hit the plus sign. It will take you directly to your form builders. So if I say I'm going to use this, I'm going to use a template just for example here. And then I can edit right here and it will take me to my builder. From here, you guys have a few different variables. The form builder I actually love because I think it's really easy to use because first you have your primary fields, right? So all the primary fields, and if they're grayed out like this, first name, middle name, last name, that means that they're already added to this form. So I won't duplicate anything because I know anything dark there is added. All you have to do is drag and drop. So if you wanted to add anything to the forms, drag and drop. You can edit any of the verbiage once you drag and drop. There is a required field. So if it is a piece that you want to make sure your patients fill out, they can't skip over it. If they try to hit submit, it will give them an error and show them where they need to go back and fill it out. You'll turn on the required field to make sure that that section doesn't get skipped. You also have the option to add conditions. So if you're asking like multiple choice questions, you know, have you ever experienced gum bleeding? Let's give that as an example. If they answer yes, I could easily use a condition here. If the answer is right, yes, if it shows yes or whatever, then we're going to move along on that condition. If it answers yes, then what? Do you want to ask a follow-up question or something like that? You can kind of edit that, which is nice. So all of the primary fields are kind of filtered between information here, just like that, which is great. But up here at the top, we have elements. So elements is very similar to primary fields. You can just drag and drop, right? If I want e-signature, I want the patients to sign the forms, right? I can come in here and just drag it down to the bottom of my form. This is a huge form. I didn't realize how large it was. And just pull it in for them. I actually saw a question right as this overview started about, can we get a photo of the patient's insurance card? Yes, you can, and that is called card capture. So if you drag in card capture, you can see it says picture of the front, picture of the back. This is going to say card capture, so if I wanted, I could even edit it to say insurance card, right? And then I can save it so they know, hey, we're going to want a picture of the front, a picture of the back of the insurance card. So elements are just a little more advanced than just basic primary fields. This is where if you have like long text, like a big paragraph you want your patients to read over and then sign on, you can pull that in. There's certain things like checkboxes. So if you want to ask multiple choice questions, you know, check all that applies, you can pull this in and edit it. All great things like that. If you do have medical history with your PMS, you'll see medical history here where you can add allergies, things like that. And then these are section templates. So if you wanted to create separate sections, kind of templates for each thing, you can use these sections here. Once you are done, the most important thing, I've talked to so many offices who are like, Jen, I built out my whole form and then I lost it. It is so important to make sure you save those changes. You can preview if you want to look at it. You can generate it as a PDF. You want to see what it looks like on that end, but always make sure that you're saving it there. Now, the next thing I want to talk about with forms is your settings. Now, everybody's settings might look a little bit different, right? Not everybody has the same integration with forms as other people. So it will show you essentially in your settings kind of what you have available. But if I go into my settings here, right in the upper right-hand corner, there is a forms setting. Here in forms, my Writeback, which is my most important. Now, this is where it can look different for some locations. Some offices with their practice management system or EHR might not have any Writeback features. Some might have all of these, right? But these are essentially our 3 Writebacks. So the first one being a new patient creation. So Weave is going to look for a few main fields: first name, last name, date of birth, and phone number. If we can't find a patient in your existing records with that information, Weave can automatically create a new patient to upload the forms that they just filled out for you. You can choose to have this turned off, manual, meaning that you have to manually approve that new patient creation, or automatically. The next one is patient record updates. So if we do find a patient in your practice management system with the same first name, last name, date of birth, and phone number, we can automatically update their basic information, like first name, last name, address, if it changes, things like that. The main thing that we won't update with patient records is like insurance information. You can still ask for that in your digital forms, but it's probably not going to automatically update that information. The third one is we can save a completed form, the PDF version of it, into your practice management system documentation center for that patient. So this is probably my favorite. I don't know why anybody wouldn't have this automatic that's saying when you receive a form back, patient submits it back, it's going to automatically go into their chart as well. So anybody else in the office can go into their chart, documentation center, and see that form that was just filled out. Medical history, we got terms and conditions here. So these terms and conditions, if you leave this blank, it's just not going to add to your digital forms. If you fill out text here, what it's going to do is at the bottom of each of your digital forms, it'll say terms and conditions, and there'll be a little link for your patients to read, essentially your terms and conditions. So if you want to fill this out, it will attach that link. If you don't, then it just won't have that link at the bottom of your forms. We also have privacy policy, same thing as the terms and conditions. If you fill something out here, it'll just have your privacy policy at the end. They can click that link. I've noticed a lot of offices have privacy policy forms. So if you're sending out a form already with your privacy policy in it, you probably don't have to fill out any verbiage here, but if you would like to add that to your forms, you can. Provider mapping is essentially if you do have providers in your practice management system and you want to sync them to your Weave user, you can. So this is just going to help if you do have, if any practitioner needs to like review forms that have came in, you want to make sure that they're synced to their user. So if Adria was, Dr. Anderson here, I would sync that saying the Weave user Adria is going to be Dr. Anderson. So you can go ahead and sync those up. So there's all those great features here. Now, one thing that I did kind of want to dive into as well as far as forms is how do you send out forms, right? Once you have all the forms set up here, how do I send them out? So there's a few ways to do that. One way is just right here in the Forms tab. I believe if we hit the plus sign here, new message, no, it's not there. Never mind. First one is I'm going to say is if you're in a message thread with a patient, down here at the bottom, in this little drop-down caret, the last one over, there is forms. So if I was texting a patient and I wanted to send out a form to them, it will show me their upcoming appointment. So if I want to wait and send it out for that upcoming appointment, I can select that appointment. If I want to bypass it because I want to give them some time to fill out their form, I can just say skip, right? I'm not going to send it out today at 12. I want to send it out right now. So I'll skip. Then I'll choose the form or packet that I want to send to that patient, insert it, and it will be right there. If we are here in the patient chart, right, the pop-up that happened. So if Landon called in and I got the pop-up and I answered it on my phone, this is the family overview that's going to pop up automatically. And then right here is where I can send out a form. So if I'm already in their chart, I can hit send form here and walk through those same steps that way. Now, another way that you can send out forms is through auto messaging. So that's a really great tool. I feel like if you don't want to manually send out all your forms, you can just go to your messaging and do so. So I'm going to go here to my settings and my messages. I actually believe that I don't think auto messaging. Yeah, I think it will open a new browser for me. So let's make sure I'm sharing that browser with you guys because it's going to take me, well, actually, I'm just going to go back to the portal. So one of the things that I really like with New Weave is, as you can see, this is my app that I downloaded. So this is not a web page, it's my app. And I can actually access the portal from the app right now. So if I come to home and portal here, I can immediately be on my portal. where I can go down to messages and then my auto messaging. So essentially with auto messaging, you can attach any form or packet to any message. I've been noticing a really popular one is the save the date reminder. Save the date reminder, that is a message that's going to go out automatically after you put an appointment on the schedule in your practice management system. Now, not every practice management system has this option. So if you don't see it in your auto messages, it might just mean that it's not integrated with your current system. But I have a lot of people who like to set up links for their forms in Save the Date because once they schedule the appointment, that will just go out automatically. Now, a few things if you are using any messages, whether it's Save the Date or you want to set it up in an appointment reminder, one of the important things, because usually you don't like to send out a form to all of your patients, right? Usually it kind of differs, right? New patients are going to fill out the new patient packet. Maybe you have a 6-month update for anybody coming in for a checkup. That's where these filters come in. So if you wanted to create a save the date message just for like, let's say new patients, you would have to use these advanced filters to customize, right? And all of these advanced filters are coming directly from your practice management system. So appointment statuses, that's going to be the statuses in your system. If you're like, hey, I only want to send it to confirmed patients, I can choose to include or exclude them. Appointment types, this is probably most commonly used, right? This is going to have all the appointment types from your practice management system. You can select multiple, right? So if it's a new patient, I can say, hey, anybody who's scheduled for a consultation or any of these comprehensive exams, I want them to receive the link to fill out the new patient paperwork, right? So I could apply that filter saying, hey, we're only going to include patients who are scheduled for these services. How will it be sent? Are we doing a text or email? Are we going to send it to all the numbers related to that patient contact or just the contact's preferred mobile? And then I'll come here and edit the verbiage, right? Right down here below the little preview is where you can attach the form. So if I click that, it's where I can add which packet or form I want to add. But remember, you do have to add verbiage, right? So right now, if I just sent it like this, you will see in the preview how it says, click on the date to save it to your calendar, and then a link. So I would always make sure to, please select the link to fill out paperwork and let them know. And you can save that. So that's save the date if you want to do it that way, but you can also add them to your appointment reminders in the same day, in the same way. If you want to create an appointment reminder just for, your patients coming in for hygiene and you have that 6-month update form, you can do that. Say, hey, 3 days before the event, I want to send my patients, the link with that. So for this one, I could say, anybody coming in for a peri or prophy because I want to send that 6-month update. And then, of course, add which form or packet I want. So makes it really nice there. I also have had a lot of people ask me like, hey, can we customize the verbiage? So the verbiage, I mean, if I'm coming in here, right here, we're looking to forward to your upcoming visit, please fill out this form at your earliest convenience, right? And it has that link to the form. So you guys can, if you want to custom your own message with the link to the forms for each, you can do that as well. If you go to your forms, let's say I wanted to use one of these forms, I could just copy this link, right? For, let's say this one. And I could come into my messages and create a template for that one, right? So if I come in here, there's manual templates. I could create one, for example, say new patient, and then be able to choose, this is going to be a manual message, and then we're going to create the template, right? Hey there, please fill this out and add that link there to be able to have that. So a few different options. It's totally just going to be what works best for you in your practice, how you want to set everything up, but forms are awesome. One thing I forgot to let you guys know, when a form submission comes in, so when a patient clicks the link, fills out the information, and it's sent back to you. So it's in your submissions in your inbox. It'll actually pop up and notify you as long as you have the notification turned on to get notified when forms come in. Those are usually typically turned on in your settings. Under your personal settings, you'll see your notifications. So as long as you have forms toggled on, whenever you receive a form back from your patient, it will automatically pop up just like a text would, letting you know, Jen Prescard filled out the new patient packet or whatever. You can also add a sound to that. So if you want a sound for any forms coming in, you can come in here and add that form to be notified when one comes in. Now, if you guys you have a system that isn't integrated, when your submissions come back in, if they don't automatically write back to your system, you can just select that submission, and here's a little drop down here. So that's where you could download the PDF, save it to your computer, and then go upload it to your patient's chart or print it out, do whatever you need to do there. But that's essentially how it would look if you didn't have that write back feature. Awesome. Well, guys, that is forms. I know I went kind of fast, and I'm sorry, but there is just a lot to share with forms. If you guys don't have forms and you are interested, right above me here on the top of the page, you can see in green, there's a request weave demo. If you guys want to know kind of what your integration would look like, how your forms would work with your practice, you want a price quote, go ahead and fill that out, and our sales reps will be able to give you all those details. We have just a minute more. I'm going to have Adria hop on. And what I'm going to do is also launch our survey. Oh, perfect. Did you just launch it?
Yes, I did.
Oh, you're so great. Thank you. One step ahead. I wanted to make sure we had that.
Yeah, let us know what you guys have to say. We have a lot of questions, though, about the integrations. I added in a link that talks about all the integrations with Weave, with your digital forms. So there are some that work and some that, I'm sorry, don't. Even if you are integrated, doesn't mean you're integrated with our forms. So I added that link so you can see if your system, your practice management system does integrate, which it would be great. Just make sure that if it does, that you're going into your settings to make sure you turn on the write back settings for the correct information. So you have all that information going into your system that you need it to go into. There's a couple questions, Jen, that I do want you just to address really quick. A lot of people, there's been a handful of people that have asked about having a link added to their website. You just kind of briefly showed that. Would you just show them one more time how to generate that link?
Yeah, if you go to your forms or packets have their own links as well. Let's say my new patient paperwork, I wanted to add that. I could come over here and copy the public link, right? So if I come here, copy the link, that's the link I can give to my IT if they're the ones adding it into your webpage, or if you're techie enough yourself, now the link is copied. So wherever you're ready to paste it, you can paste it.
Awesome. And then just to clarify too, this will work even if they're not your patients. If you're an office that works with clients, it'll work with your clients. It will work with your pets. It'll work with everything. Everybody that you work with, it will work for it. Forms
Correct.
Works for everybody. There's just a different integration system that might not integrate back into your system, but you're able to use it. So if you need a system for your digital forms, this is a great tool for you to utilize. Another couple questions that I just want to address. These are all being recorded. All of the workshops that we've done this week are being recorded. So just keep that in mind. You will be able to access them on our Weave Training Camp page. So if you ever needed to reference back to it so you can have other staff view it or anybody else, or you want to reference back, you can always go to Training Camp, go to Training Camp under live sessions and you can access that there. Just another thing just to mention, Training Camp is a really great tool for you guys to utilize. Please feel free to use it. It is going to go over all of our features. It's going to go over all of the tools and everything that we have more in depth for you. So please feel free to utilize that. Go through your customized training drills so that you guys are getting all ramped up with Weave. One other question that I want to address is with the new Weave experience. So a lot of people are asking like if there's a fee for it, anything like that. Nope, it's available to everybody right now. And Jen, will you just show them how they can get to the new Weave experience if they're using the portal?
Yeah, so if you guys just log into your portal, open your website and log in, you'll see over here on the far left-hand side, switch to app. So this will allow you to switch to the app, which will be a web-based app. So it's nice that you can easily switch over and have access, but if you guys are using Weave on the day-to-day and want the pop-up, even if Weave is minimized or not on the main page, I would recommend downloading New Weave. So if you come up here on the right-hand side where it says download the Weave app, if you click that, it'll give you the option to download the Weave app or the Legacy app. So just so you guys are aware with the verbiage, Legacy app is the older version of Weave, and Weave app is the new app. So once you do have the new app, as you can see, it's downloaded here on my screen. I can still switch from the admin portal to the app, which is awesome. One other thing I want to show you guys real quick, since Adria was kind of touching base on our training resources, if you select your initials right up here when you're in New Weave, it will give you our Weave Help and Weave Training Camp shortcuts. If you click this, it'll just open the browser for you and take you directly there. What I love, if you guys are older, like you've had Weave for a couple years, you probably don't know all the advancements that we've made with Weave Training Camp. But if you come in here and click Weave Training Camp and open the browser, you'll see a little link that says access my training drills. If you click that, those are going to be all the training drills custom to your guys' package. So it really is nice. It will let you know everything you have and walk you through everything there. If you go into your settings here, you'll see down towards the bottom of your settings, there's also a subscription tab. So if you want to see, hey, what am I paying for? You can come to the subscription tab. It'll tell you your plan. You can look at the details of everything you have. You can manage your subscription here or see all the add-ons. So if you guys don't have forms, you might actually be able to see the form add-on here. I think we may have some features that have 30-day trials. So you can always look at the add-ons. You can start a 30-day trial if you want. I usually recommend talking to a sales rep first if you guys want to get kind of more details on exactly how that will look with integration and stuff. But you can definitely check out what you have there in the subscription tabs of your settings. So.
Oh, it looks like a couple people are clicking on Training Camp. Is this page not found? Let me get you guys the link in the chat so you can click on that, which we should probably make sure that's accurate. But there's the Training Camp link in the chat so you guys can click on that for both Tracy and McKenna there.
Oh, yeah. Like thanks for seeing that.
Problems.
We'll Perfect. Just make sure we get that updated then.
Yes, thank you for finding that. So thank you so much, you guys. Just a reminder, this is being recorded. We'll get an email sent out to you guys on Monday. We do have one more session tomorrow to go over all of your questions. We do have our product specialists. Well, I guess they're more product designers and marketers. So it's fun. They'll be on to answer a lot of the questions about why we did all of these changes and why it's going to be even better than it was before. So thank you so much for joining us again today. We will see you guys tomorrow and have a fabulous rest of your afternoon. We'll see ya. Bye.
Awesome. Bye.